Perfect Cherry Blossom is among the most celebrated Touhou games, featuring an interesting story, fun characters, and rich gameplay. Due to those factors, it remains one of the most popular Touhou games 20 years on, and for good reason. However, the previous game, The Embodiment of Scarlet Devil, was the one that pushed Touhou Project into success, but it had its problems that developer Zun had to address with the sequel. That is where the prototypes and trial versions come in. Most games have prototypes, a beta version used internally for testing features and lots of different changes. Touhou Project is no different. While most prototype and trial versions of Touhou feature funny yet small changes from the initial release, Perfect Cherry Blossom is different as it has the most changes documented compared to any other Touhou game that came before and after. We gotta begin with something cool, so why not start with the art? Everybody loves Zun art, right? Perfect Cherry Blossom has a distinguishable art style compared to the rest of the series, and we can see that with the main characters, Reimu, Marisa, and Sakuya. Reimu has a slightly darker dress and paler skin, Marisa has paler hair and a cute hat-tipping emote, and Sakuya having portraits contrasting in style, some having black outlined hair while others having smudged grey hair which looks a bit ugly in my opinion. At least their star emote is literally the cutest thing ever and needs to be protected. Comparing to the final releases, we can see that they have more body being shown, though their waists being cut off. The prototype releases have many of the characters with just their portraits. A notable example is with Serna, where we can see all of her upper body in the prototype, while in the final release, she's just full body, though cut off. Some other characters have portraits that differ from the official version. Letty had a cross-eyed portrait that was sadly cut out because dang, it looks freaking hilarious. Alice having a sad face and Chen obtaining a portrait treatment, yet she has a thin portrait of her with red nails. Oh dear. Oh, and of course you can't forget the Prism River sisters having greasy hair akin to Beta Sakuya. In the official release, the sprites of Patchouli and Koikuma from Embodiment of Scarlet Devil are left in, likely as placeholders. We can talk about art all day, but it's also worth checking out the actual gameplay they were from too. Starting off with the spell cards, Cerno's Freed Actress was originally going to be on Hard and Lunatic 2, but after the .05 trial, it was replaced by Frost Columns. It's the same case with Alice's Marionette Parar, appearing on Easy and Normal mode. Letty's Lingering Cold fires green bullets in the early trial versions, yet later on, it was changed to teal, likely to match with Letty's Snow theme. On one of Chen's Nons, she fires a circle of green bullets to complement her triangle fire. It was removed for unknown reasons. Oh, okay. Bullet patterns are kinda boring, so why not talk about the music? It has definitely changed a bit, most notably being the fantastic Legend of Tallno, where the song is in a completely different key. Nuclear Take, it does sound a bit sadder than the official release in my opinion, and it's the same case with the Dollmaker Bukareshti, where it's in a higher key. There are other changed songs, but the differences are not as big. The title theme does not loop correctly, and Withered Leaf is slightly louder than the prototype releases. With Crystallized Silver, it has a small difference that I just want you to guess. Which one is the trial version? If you guessed the first one, you're wrong. The trial version has trumpets that do not echo, so it allows for a more standard effect? I don't know. Unrelated, but did you know that the music comment for the song also changed? I want you to spot the difference this time. It's this one. How can you get it wrong? Because of one period. I don't know about you, but I think removing a period would not make an English teacher happy. Okay, where's the funny stuff? Well, let's talk about the facts. The first trial for Perfect Cherry Blossom was released at Comic-Con 63 in December 2002, and the final trial, 0.11, was released on July 12, 2003 on Zun's old website. The first trial was released on CD featuring a different Reimu cover that contrasts with the final release. Heck, there's even a Yonkoma in there. In some dialogue, Sakuya has a portrait that changes from an angry expression to a happy one. In version 0.09, if you go to the results menu and return to the title screen, there will be silence. In version 0.05, there are no cherry petals in stage 3 for some reason. Thankfully they were added back in version 0.06. There are two versions 0.08s, the standard version and the E version. If you have a save data file from the E version and transfer it to the standard version, the game will crash for an unknown reason. But for whatever reason, if you are playing on the .10 version of Perfect Cherry Blossom and need to transfer your data, you can transfer it to the .11 version with no problems.
Though you can't do it in reverse, sadly.
In Stage 1, there are some dialogue lines that were added in version 0.07 onwards, though they never appear somehow. It should be a crime to not mention how Ran and Yukari originally had the last name of Suzukaze. The same treatment happens with Yuyuko, where her first name was going to be Ayaka Saigyoji, later on Yuyuka, and then sticking with Yuyuko. It should also be noted that the Prism Rivers are known as Sister Prism Rivers according to the boss titles. Originally, there were likely going to be stage titles in Perfect Cherry Blossom akin to Embodiment of Scarlet Devil as seen in the extracted STD files from the soundtrack. They are leftovers from EOSD, but the idea was there, though it got abandoned early in development for unknown reasons. And I think the only other thing I can talk about today is a special super secret code. Discovered about a year or two ago, if you go to the hard mode record screen and enter the code, shift, up 3 times, D 2 times, down twice, and Q thrice, you'll hear a 1-up sound, thus unlocking everything, spell cards, and the extra stages. Think of this as like the Konami code for Touhou, as variations appear in most of the games and was left unknown for many years. Of course, what did all these things mean that made Perfect Cherry Blossom so great? I don't know, but if I had to give an answer, we did see a lot of trial and error in the development process, a bit of experimenting that we have yet to see with the past and future games, and I think that makes Perfect Cherry Blossom just a little bit more special. It's getting cold, my brothers. I'm going to bed.